Hi everyone, welcome to your weekly edition of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Lauren Urbonis and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Now I have a adorable little tag to show you this week. It does correspond with the card that I made last week on my edition. So if you'd like to go back and check that video out after you're done this one, you will be able to see another idea on how you can use the Hang and Ornament Bundle. Now this bundle is what I described last week as a hidden gem in our holiday catalog. It's one of the most affordable bundles where you can get a stamp set and a set of dies for, I think it's $41.25, and that is very reasonable for both products together. Of course, you can purchase them separately, but then you're not benefiting from a 10% discount when you grab both of them in one order. Now, this little bundle is probably one that you might have just looked past because you're not quite sure what to do with it. So I hope between this week's project and the card, I should have it here, here we go, the card that I did last week, that you'll be able to see a couple different ideas of how you can use this bundle in your own card collection. So this is the puzzle slider card if you're looking for that edition. Now, let's get busy. So back at the beginning of October, I co-hosted a World Card Making Day crafting event with two other demonstrators here in Edmonton, Alberta. Lindsay Mann and Kelly Entz are both wonderful demonstrators, and the three of us all designed projects around the Hang and Ornament Bundle so that our attendees could showcase that either at future swaps or classes or for their own card collections. And we thought it would be really fun not only to give them the make and take ideas, but to decorate some of their items, such as their gift bag and their prizes with this bundle too. So I'm going to show you how to make this little guy here. It's the tag that we added to their bag. However, you can easily make it into an ornament, or you can add it onto a gift bag yourself. And then before we get started, I might as well show you a couple very, very simple little tags that you can make using this bundle as well. I know the gold is kind of blinding you, isn't it? But these we kind of threw onto some of their all attendee gifts, and they were just fun little ways for us to attach a little greeting and for them to have a bit of a decorated prize going on. So I'm going to show you how to make this card. If you have these items, you can follow along, or perhaps you have something similar. So you would need the Hang and Ornament Bundle, as well as some sort of designer series paper. Now, I am in love with the Simply Elegant designer series paper. It has a great shiny gold side in multiple different colors. There's a blue hiding here somewhere. Oh, there's red. There's cherry cobbler. There's pretty peacock hiding here. This one's kind of a garden green mixed with mossy meadow. So you can use any of those colors that you like, but you're going to need a designer series paper and the ornament die set in order to do this one. There's not a lot of measurements that I can give you. Usually in my description on videos, I like to add all the measurements in there for you so you can see and maybe cut things ahead of time. But this one, unfortunately, you're gonna just have to kind of click pause and start and stop with me along the way. But that's okay. You can do that. It's a recording for you for that purpose this week, and I wanted you to be able to follow along and not get lost with that. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is to cut yourself some sort of circle base, okay? So this I have cut from the Spotlight on Nature dies, and I pulled this one out because it's easier to show you. This die set, it's kind of weird because the circles layer in like two different sections, unlike most of our dies, which are largest to smallest. So if you're looking at yours, you see this stitching look, this one here, this middle one, this is the one you're going to want. This one would be too big, this one would be too small. You're going to need this middle looking one right there. If you don't own those dies, that's okay. If you've got some sort of large circle, that would work as well. The stylish shapes dies with the beautiful stitching, or even a large punch could work as well. And then if you want to add a little bit of texture, hopefully you can see this, I embossed, give the camera a second. Does it want to? Maybe? Okay, I embossed with the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. That one is carried over in our annual catalog, so you'll still be able to grab it and enjoy it. Look, it matches my nails. Ah, so fun. Okay, that you'll need one of those. Now for the back, we're gonna get everything prepped. For the back here, you need another circle. So depending on which circle you grabbed for your base, you need something smaller than that. And you're gonna punch it out in very vanilla. I used our 2 1/4 inch punch. I found that worked perfectly. But if you're using like the Stylish Shapes dies, or even the, I'm drawing blank, Spotlight on Nature dies, you'll be able to just grab the size that's next on the list. Okay, so that's the back. We'll stamp on this one in a minute. For the ornament itself, you have a lot of die cutting, and these pieces are all going to be from the Hang and Ornament set. So you will need to cut multiples of your ornament. I like 5 of them. That gives me a nice robust ornament. Of course, if you are doing this as a full ornament and you're not adding it onto the background, maybe you'd want to do 10, and then you'd have a full ornament going all the way around. I'll show you how to attach those. You're going to need one of these little belly bands that's going to be in very vanilla, one silver hook, 2 little leaves, and you can cut those from the same specialty paper that we used for our ornaments. Of course, you might decide to flip them over though and use the non-glittery side, because then they look like they're a completely different paper. That's what you need to have prepped. And then you're also going to want to run and grab right now your scoreboard. Okay, so I'm going to move a few things out of my way and keep my pile of 5 little ornaments. And we need to do some scoring. Okay, so on my scoreboard here, you can see it's been well used on the standard measurements, 4 1/4, 5 1/2. That just happens because I've been using it so much. But in this 6-inch line, you can vaguely see it. I took a Sharpie and I just actually drew a line down the 6-inch, because then I can see exactly where it connects to. I can see it all the way down the page. So that's personally just what I'm going to do. I'm going to line up the top of my ornament and the bottom of my ornament. And the easy way to tell with these guys is when you punched it out of the page, you had to kind of break a couple tabs. There's 3 tabs where the ornament stayed connected to your paper. So the intent is that you can make a peekaboo card with it, but we broke ours out. You can still see that little tab a tiny bit on the bottom, unless you've trimmed it. So we're going to line up the top and that little tab, and we're going to do a score line down. You're going to do that on all 5 of these ornaments. So 1, 2, and you're scoring actually on the side that you want to see. I know that's usually kind of not what we do. We usually score on the other side, but we're scoring on the side that we want to see, and we'll be folding on these lines. You'll see how it works. 4 and 5. Okay, I'm going to put that away so it's out of my space. Okay, now we're going to build our ornament. This is the fun part. We're going to fold this in half. The score line hopefully is right down the middle. If it's not, you can kind of move that ornament into place. But we're going to do this on all 5 of those pieces. Fold them in half. If you have a bone folder or something nice and hard, it would be a good idea to grab it, because you want a nice crisp line on these. 4 and 5. Okay, now at this point they're all the same, so it doesn't matter which one we start with. I'm just going to pick one, and I'm going to use double-sided tape to attach, but of course you can grab glue, you can grab whatever you like, but I'm going to put tape onto just one side. I'd like you to have these sitting in front of you and opening to the left, okay? We'll just open them all to the left right now so that we make sure we're not going to make any mistakes, okay? Taking the backing off of that one, I'm going to just start making a sandwich. So I'm going to connect this one right on top, spine to spine, and then I'm going to keep doing that until all 5 of these pieces are connected. Which is why I say you can easily keep going. You can make more ornaments. You can make this go all the way around, and you could just have an entire ornament that goes on your tree, and it would look gorgeous. Be a little tricky to attach the hook. You might just forgo that part and do, oh, hold on. I made a mistake. Should always add your adhesive to the pile here. It's okay, we'll use that one still. One connects. But yeah, you could just put some string instead and not add the hook. Okay, so at this point, it should kind of look like that. You can see how pretty it would be if we, had another half and it went all the way around. I would suggest before attaching all of them, if you're doing the all-around ornament, just to glue your string in the middle section here and let it dry instead of trying to tuck it in later. But we're making this kind of just a tag, so we only need this half to work. Now what we're going to do is we're going to attach this to our red base. You can put tape on the back, but I think it looks even nicer if you pop these 2 sections up on dimensionals. So I'm just going to grab some of my nice edge pieces here for my large or my mini dimensionals. So we'll keep it nice and sturdy. And I should mention for you guys, if you're ever watching this, you don't own the products, but you're interested, my website is at the bottom. It's learnerbonus.stampinup.net, and you can order anywhere in Canada. If you do place an order and it's over $40, then I will automatically mail you out a set of my monthly card kit cards, and you get kind of a video like this to complete them with some projects. So they're always a surprise, but it's a nice little thank you. And if your order is over 100, then you also get a little special treat too. But that's an option. And if you're not in Canada, no stress. You can easily order from somebody in your country. If you don't have a demonstrator, you can still head to my website, and up in the top when you see my Canadian flag, just switch it to whatever country you're in, and then on the left hand side of the page it says find a demonstrator, and you'll be able to type in your zip code, or like we have postal codes here. Wherever you are, you can find somebody close to you. So I had somebody ask that the other week who was in Australia, and I would have loved to help her out, but I actually have a wonderful demonstrator friend in Australia, so I was able to connect the 2 of them without making her search. But it's like, oh, I should probably tell you guys that. Okay, now before I attach all my other little pieces, because I'm going to be using glue and I want those to dry, I'm going to get the back going on my tag here. So I'm using Basic Beige, which is one of our new colors that popped in, and it's lovely. It's like kind of between a brown and the vanilla, so it has a little life. And I just mounted one of the ornaments on my clear block. I'm going to stamp that right in the middle here. And you can see it's very subtle, like it's very soft. It doesn't stand out from the page a ton, and that is great. I just wanted something simple so that my sentiment now, I'm going to stamp the Cherry Cobbler, is kind of the star of the show. Now I'm using the one that says just for you on the back of my tag, and then on the front of the tag will say all is merry. So here's the fun part. I get to do this like a foot in front of me. Try to get that in between those spaces. The other fun thing is if you've made a mistake and you don't love this right now, because I don't love how tall that is, I might just turn it over and try again. And then I'm going to bring this close to me. It's easier to look down. Much better. Sorry. Hard to do things in front. All right, now we're going to pop this guy up on dimensionals and surprise, put that onto the back of this guy. I probably should close my ink. I feel like I'm tempting fate right now, but we need to do one more stamp job. So just everyone keep your fingers crossed. I'm going to move even further away from it, but I don't touch it. Red is like my magnet color. Everyone has one. They always get inky from. Okay, just make sure that whatever way your ornament is now facing upwards, you want your tag to kind of complement that, right? So it's facing up there. I'm gonna add this to the back. Oh, so fun, even just this, like look at that. The red with the circle. I think that would even be a cute tag. It's great. Okay, now we've got to do one more stamp job so I can close my ink and start attaching our other details. So all is merry. Sorry, again, bringing it down. There you go. Closing up Cherry Cobbler, moving those out of the way. Now we can start building. You can grab either a fine tip glue pen or your Tombow liquid glue for this, whatever your preference is great. And we're going to put this here. We're going to start with our little hook. So I'm just going to put the glue right onto my paper, because then I don't need to worry about anything catching there. So a little trick for you. Because I decided to make this a tag and I wanted to use the hook as part of my attachment, I didn't want to have to add the string anywhere else. You're going to want to steal a tiny bit of glue for the tip of your hook here, that end, okay? So whether you decide to maybe steal it from the glue bottle itself, you want that tip to have glue on it, and then you want the rest of this also to attach. And we're just going to leave a tiny gap. You'll see it when I move my fingers. Sorry, I have to hold this for a second. Okay. Just remember this glue will dry clear, so even if you see a little bit of it right now, it's totally fine. You've left the tiniest, how do I show you this? The tiniest of gaps between the circle and the top of the hook. I know this is really tricky to show you, but I have my string. Basically, I have enough room, do this gently because your glue's still wet right now, for my string to slide through that hole. Okay, that's all you're really making sure you've got. But in order to do that, you need the tip of the hook glued and then the base of the hook glued separately. Okay? I'm just going to pull that out for now. Continuing on with our gluing session, we're going to add our leaves. So again, I just found it easiest to glue right onto the circle. I'm going to tuck one leaf in. to start. And then add a little bit more glue. Second leaf right on top. Those two you just kind of want angled towards each other. Now, the tag we're going to do very, very, very last, and then you're going to like leave this project and walk away for the night. We're going to add our berries here. Do you see them tucked in? It's very subtle, but they're adorable. And when you're right up close, they make a big difference. So I got those berries here from the Cherrry Cobbler and Pearl? Yep, Pearl Adhesive Back Berries. This is a new set of embellishments that Stampin' Up! Has this year, and I love it because they give you the opportunity to use these clusters that are all connected. You don't have to connect 3 dots together. It just comes off as one sticker. But then they also give us individual dots. And at first I was a little sad because I was like, well, I just want a full package of these like easy to use ones. But I realized that would be a waste because on this card, for instance, you don't see that 3rd dot. So I'm going to bring in my opened pack here. I'm going to pull out those individual dots, and we're only going to use 2 of them rather than 3 to tuck in here. So I'm using my take your pick tool just to pick that up, and I'm going to tuck that right underneath the ornament because remember we glued these flat, the leaves. We didn't pop them up on dimensionals. There's one. It's definitely like a labor of love project, but it is so cute. And I feel like if you made a few of them, it would be worth your time. You'd kind of get the hang of what you're doing. See, subtly tucked in. We didn't waste a 3rd one there. Okay, now here's the tricky part. Next, you're going to take your glue and we're going to attach it very carefully for this tag to sit on here. Now, to do that, you only want glue, a tiny bit of glue coming out the tip, and we're only going to put it on the top of these 2 middle ornaments. Do you see the white hiding in there? It's very bright, I know. The camera loves this gold. This is going to rest on here. You're just going to hold it for a second just so it kind of attaches. Make sure you're not changing the shape of the ornament at all. And now you're going to leave this. You're going to let it dry for like a whole night. I would just say like put it away, don't touch it. Because once I had these dry, I made about 35 of them because I made them for the event and then a couple for friends, but I didn't break one of them. None of them fell apart. I transported them from my house to an event. I was looking around the event. I didn't see any of them broken. Maybe they would. It is a very delicate ornament, I will say. So be careful. But like I can play with this and it's not falling off. I would have to pull really hard for that to come off the tag at this point. So as long as you leave it and let it set, you should be fine. And then when you're ready, you can either put some linen thread, or maybe you have some gold or silver or the red and white baker's twine, something that you're going to feed through that hook and attach this to a gift. Or if you're going to attach this to a tree, then you're probably going to want a little sturdier of a wire or a baker's twine to add that onto the tree for you. Completely up to you what you do with this, but I am really excited to hear if you give it a try because it's fun. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's edition. Please consider subscribing to the channel and make sure to click that like button on the video. It does really help me out. I look forward to crafting with you again next Tuesday at noon on another edition of Show Me How It's Done. Bye.